I put my microphone in like a bubble tea cup. It might make it worse, let's be honest. But anyways, today we're going to be talking about the map of Taiwan. So last week I made a video talking about how to travel through Taiwan, and you think it'd make more sense to make this video before that, but anyway, so we're going to be talking about the map of Taiwan, because last week I talked about how the Taiwan map is pretty strange and a lot of the transportation kind of avoids the east. This is not an important topic, but I thought it'd be fun to talk about. I am not an expert, obviously. Like, I'm definitely not a geography major or whatever, map major. I don't understand map. This video is just for fun. So, Taiwan in the world map. It is an island in the Pacific. Yes, this does make us a Pacific island. And on the left, it has a Taiwan Strait. Like, I don't know what a strait is. Like, is it just water but straighter? What? Yeah, the whole point of this is that the waters are really aggressive. So even though Taiwan is really known for like its water-related activities, the Taiwan Strait is not where you would do that. It'd be very dangerous. So it's an island in East Asia, and it's about the size, you can see, 36,000 kilometers or 14K miles. It's pretty small, but it's not that small. It's bigger than a few U.S. states. Like, this is the part where like my American kicks in. If you ever heard of the state of Rhode Island, it's much bigger than that. But it's still pretty small in the context of the world. And you can see it's surrounded by all of these Asian countries. Okay. So, the Taiwan map. I had to Google this, kind of breaking my rule of not Googling stuff for this video. But this is just a very rough summation of it. Taiwan has 6 special mucinexes, or whatever you call that. I don't know. These are like the most populated cities and like the big governments. That would be Taipei, New Taipei, Taoyuan, Taichung, Tainan, and Kaohsiung. I don't understand like what the difference is here, but it does make sense because these are all the cities that I remember really well. Makes sense because they have the most people. They also have 3 cities. I guess this is like the middle child cities. They're less populated and a smaller government. I think they operate in tandem. Is that how you use that word? Like they're very related to the others, but I guess they're not like municipalities or whatever themselves. And then we have 13 counties, which are even smaller. I don't really know what to say about them. They're just smaller. Some are islands of the main island, and I guess I'll just go over what I can because I don't know every single city here. It's like I don't really expect everyone to know like every state in America, and Taiwan is big enough where I wouldn't expect you to know every single city in Taiwan. So Taipei, or Taipei. I don't know where like the P came from. It's in Chinese you would pronounce it with a B. It literally translates to like north of Taiwan. And it's one of the 6 main cities. This is the capital. It's like the place that like tourists go most of the time. It's a place that they promote all the time. There's like a lot of history as to why this is like our city. It's usually more city-like, or it's like probably the most city-like city in Taiwan. The main attraction would be Taipei 101, and there's literally a metro that goes directly to there. So like it is like obviously like it's pretty popular. It's extremely convenient, and it's where I go to school. Like I don't go to school in Taipei 101, but I do go to school in National Taiwan University, which is kind of close to Taipei 101. I don't know. There's like a lot of foreigners like to come here. Fun fact: I think the Taipei 101 has a McDonald's, which perfect for an American. Yeah, so I think they also have like a popular museum in Taipei, but I don't know the name of it in English, so just Google Taipei Museum. Okay, New Taipei. I don't really know much about this place. Like, I suppose it's like Taipei, but newer. Like, I could research it, but that's not how these videos work. If you're curious, you can research it yourself. It's supposed to be like newer, I guess, and it surrounds Taipei. And I imagine it's related to Keelung. And you combine Taipei, Keelung, and New Taipei, you get about 8 million people, which is about a third of our population, which is pretty crazy, actually. Like that small chunk is like a third of our population. Taoyuan. So I guess it's like Taipei, but like a little less. Like I don't really know what to say, right? It's basically the city, kind of. Like this is possibly where you'll start to see like some more less city-like places, more rural areas, maybe. I don't know. I haven't been to everywhere in Taoyuan. Taiwan is kind of big in this context because I'm just one person. This is the location of the international airport. I remember driving here from like the south, takes about 2.5 hours. I don't really know what else to say again. So I think there's a school here called like CGU, and I'm not talking about the amino acid. I'm talking about like a university. But yeah. So Zong. I know that's a C, but in Mandarin you would say it like that. And it translates like the middle of Taiwan. And it low-key bothers me because this country is not centered at all. Like, it's not even, like, even if you say some of it is technically in the middle, it's still, like, pretty north. Like what, maybe the logic is that, like, by population-wise, it adds up to about half the population. Because, like, what do you mean this is the middle? Like, actually, no, we're going to go back. We're going to go back. Look at, where's the map? There it is. That's not the middle, okay? Look at Taichung right there. That's not the middle, okay? It bothers me. Okay. But of course, this is like a pointless tangent. And I like to think of this as like the middle point in between like the north and the south. Like at least in terms of like the vibe, right? This is like the transition point between the city and the village. It's called Taichung for a reason, so I imagine this is the reason. There's like this really old movie called like Good Morning Taipei. I don't know the full plot, but it involves like this popular singer who lives in the city going to like a more rural area. You guys can watch the movie if you're curious, but this is the perfect segue to Tainan. Speaking of rural areas, that was such a cool transition, right? So yeah, this obviously translates to the south. I skipped a few middle cities as like, they're less populated. This is where my family's hometown is. This is less city-like and chaotic. This is kind of like what Taiwan, I feel like, is viewed as to most people outside of Taiwan. They see it as like this chill village, more village traditional like area. And that's true for like most places. In Taiwan, most of Taiwan's city-like features were developed in like the past 30 years. But in terms of like Taiwan, before that, we were more like what Tainan is right now. Less foreigner-friendly. Like I think I mentioned, like Taipei is like is because it's like the capital. They have a lot of like English speakers and like they're more foreigner-friendly. Tainan, they see an American like me, and like I do look American by like Taiwanese standards, and they hear me speak English and they think I'm like some rare creature or something. But jokes aside, they are very fascinated by foreigners, but they don't really know how to communicate with them. There is a Tainan city. This is getting really confusing because it's like Tainan is a city, and then there's also like a city, like a point in this like a city in this. I don't know. You could probably fish here. I don't think that's unique to Tainan, but there's a lot of water everywhere, so you could probably fish here. I fished here before; it was fun. Kaohsiung. So this is another city. Oh my, wow, it's so surprising. And it's like Tainan, but like more city-like. It's probably like the biggest city in like the south half of Taiwan. It's the third most populated, so I think that adds up. And it has a big stadium and a metro, so I think it kind of shows, yeah, this place is a lot more people. I guess if you have to say Kaohsiung as a city is less foreigner-friendly than like Taipei, but it's more foreigner-friendly than Tainan, right? That's pretty much all I had to say. I mean, I think I mentioned this last week that there's a metro here, and you can get around to Kaohsiung because, like I said, it's still a pretty big place. So I'm gonna speed run through these three because I have no idea or very little idea about them. Keelung is actually pronounced Geelong, so I'm not sure where where'd the K come from. Like maybe this is like an English thing where it's like they just can't pronounce it with the J, so they just changed it. The other two, I haven't been to the other one. If you try to pronounce that in English, I can guarantee you, I don't even know how you would. So I'm just gonna call it like Sainchu. That's not true though. It's like Xingchu or whatever. You get the idea. My broken Mandarin is very clear. I've been to Jiayi before to buy snacks. I don't think that's a particularly notable feature of the city, but I just was there. I guess my perspective on it is that it's very large and there's not many people, but it's chill. It's about an hour drive from Tainan, and it has a baby city in itself, which I don't know why. Maybe there's a politician who knows. I don't know. Google it. Hualien. Oh boy, we're at Hualien. Okay, so this is one of the 13 counties in Taiwan. It's extra special, so it gets more slides. This is like the main motivation or the main point of this video. This county is like a force of nature. It's like the main reason why Taiwan transportation is just kind of like allergic to the east. And this is where I connected to last week's video. So if you don't, maybe you should watch last week's video, please. So Taiwan transport system stays on the side and avoids the east. Hualien is full of mountains, or maybe it is a mountain. I don't know. Maybe it's both. Maybe it's like it's like surrounded by mountains and it is a mountain at the same time. So trains don't really like that. It's sparsely populated. Like most of the people in Taiwan live on the west, like about 90%. and a lot of the people who live in like near on the mountains are more like traditional OG people. Like I think that's the best way to put it. Like if you know what I'm talking about, right? Like the mountain people. Like I think you get the idea, right? Because of the mountains, you can't drive a straight line from Tainan, for example. So if you were in Tainan, right, and you wanted to get to Hualien, you couldn't just drive directly across the east unless you have a flying car. You're not going to get across those mountains. So you had to drive south around to South Taiwan, maybe around Kaohsiung, maybe even more south, and then go back up. It's really inconvenient, but you can't really argue with nature. One thing about like Hualien and like the mountains in Taiwan in general is that they act as a very good typhoon blocker. I don't fully know why this is the case, but I guess because like Pointy Mountain cuts the typhoon in half. This is not true, but it's probably something like that. And like by the time the typhoon crosses the mountains, since there's so many mountains, by the time it gets to Taipei or any city on the west, it's usually a lot less worse or a lot better. Typhoons are never good, but it's usually a lot less strong when it passes through the mountains first. So we always say that if a typhoon comes from the east, it's not usually a problem, but if it comes from the west, it's a very major issue. Obviously, typhoons are not good, and because they usually come from the east, Hualien and the eastern cities do get it a lot worse. So obviously, that's not a good thing, but at the very least, a good portion of Taiwan is safer from them. For some reason, Hualien is also very prone to earthquakes. I don't actually know why this is the case. Maybe a geographer can answer this question. But I think it might have something to do with the Ring of Fire. I don't know. This place has a lot of mountains, right? So it's pretty good for tourism and like viewing things. It's like maybe a good like Facebook photo, but like it's not really good for living. It's very inconvenient, and it's already pretty hard to travel here. So I've never been here, and I feel like if I went here at some point, it wouldn't be particularly easy to get here. So there is a train system, and if you look at like the topography map of Taiwan, it literally matches almost perfectly with the train. Like they just don't travel on mountains. Like as far as I'm concerned, you can't exactly travel have a train on a mountain, or maybe you can, but it can't be that easy, right? So the Taiwan train system avoids the mountains, and you can tell most a lot of Taiwan is mountain, like and the center too, which is why like a lot of the center like doesn't have like transportation. Get it? And like yeah, this is why the Taiwan rail avoids the middle. Let's see. So some other stuff we can talk about. So some brief stuff for the others because I don't really know much about them. Yilan is in the northeast. I went there once a long time ago. It has a few mountains, I guess. I don't know. Zhanghua sounds like the phrase for curse word in Mandarin, but it's a different word. It just has the same pronunciation. The Zuosueshi River, I'm not going to say that in English because it sounds bad, is in Nantou, which I guess it does translate to south, but it's not south. It looks more like the center than the south. So why couldn't they just change that to whatever? This is not an important topic. And it unofficially splits Taiwan through the north and south because of the river. It kind of flows through the middle. Tai Tong, whatever. It's actually called Tai like Dong, which is the word for east. Once again, they keep changing the letters. And it really bothers me that we have a city for every direction except the west. We only have a town for that. So I'm not sure why that's the case. And I had to make another rant about Taitung because, like, I guess it is in the east, but it's, like, in the southeast. So why couldn't they have just switched the names of them? Please. Taiwan is already so small. How did they mess up the direction like that? I'm obviously joking. There's also Miaoli, which is a place. I think it's also pretty rural-like. I went strawberry picking there once, which is the same story as last week where I said I was struggling to find a bus because it's in this like the rural area more so, and I think the bus stop was covered by a tree, so it wasn't particularly convenient. But yeah, so the islands. Taiwan is an island in itself, but it does have its own smaller islands. There's Penghu, Pingu, sounds similar. Penghu, Kingmin, and the other one. Once again, I don't know why it's called Kingmin in Chinese or Mandarin. It's a J. Why do they keep doing this? I don't know. These islands are pretty small, so a motorcycle is the most common way to travel because small island means small roads. And some have more infrastructure than others. Like, I definitely been to at least one of these islands before, but I don't remember which one. But I remember taking a ferry there and getting really sick. like, you know, when like you throw up, but you don't throw up anything except saliva. I'm sorry for saying that. I don't know why I said that, but that is what happens when you try to travel here, because you can't like ride a motorcycle there. We don't have a bridge to these places. And we definitely don't have a plane, so you just have to take the ferry. It's not the most comfortable, but it's good views, I guess, and it's cool to go to other places surrounding Taiwan. Notably, like Jingmen is close to China. I guess there's probably some like history here, but whatever it is, you can Google it. Like, I can't really talk about history much because I can't make jokes about that because I'd just be wrong, and I don't want to spread misinformation. So just Google it. So I guess the point of this video, there really isn't a point. Taiwan may be small, but there is a lot to explore. There's like this is just like a brief overview of like all this, like not all, but a lot of the cities in Taiwan, and they all have like their own like special traits. And I'm Taiwanese, and I've only been to like half these places. Like I haven't like lived in Taiwan for very long. Like I've been here, but I've been here a lot, and I've been to about half the places. So I guess even for me, there's a lot of places to explore. So maybe like I guess the point for this video is that like there's probably a lot of places to explore, no matter like in your country. And Taiwan is so small, but there's still so many places to explore. There you go. That's how you give the video a good conclusion. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye.